Hey, what is going on, guys? Is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and WTF, what did I just watch? Want to go over? I mean, what did I just watch? We watched the season finale of RWBY. I thought we were watching the season finale of RWBY. Of Volume 8. But, I got more questions and answers coming out of this, season. Just, the people that are writing RWBY, I don't know what they're thinking these days.
Out of this.
I like the show. I like the work that these guys put into it, especially the animation and stuff like that. But the writing lately has been overbooked. Like, it's been completely overbooked, and it's kind of like WWE's current writing right now. It just doesn't feel like anybody can write these days. Good storytelling. God damn. So let's get into this episode. There's just so many things that are just wonky about this entire episode. So, we got the episode is starting off, and you see all the people in there. They're fighting. You see the ops. They're fighting with Crow, and he's saying you're making a mistake. Eventually the two other ops come in to basically help her. There was an auto thing, and one of the ops ends up sacrificing himself to basically destroy the bomb in the plane, and everyone else is basically rescued, or everyone just goes to the other ship. And that probably was the highlight of this whole episode, was convincing the one op to basically not destroy the to have the bomb go off, and having the op just sacrifice himself to save it, or to prevent the stuff going off. That was probably the highlight of this entire episode. That kind of went right. Everything else just was wonky. And no, it's, spoiler, because we're going to go over this anyways. But we're going to go over all this stuff here in the review. But, the villains winning this season, okay, is not the issue, and why the storytelling was bad. Alright, if you wanted the villains to come out on top for this season, that's fine. Okay, that's completely fine. That's not the issue of why this was bad. The issue of why this was bad is the writers, for whatever reason, keep overthinking their own logic on canon and their whole established stuff, and that's been the problem with this entire season for the most part, especially overthinking Penny. Now, when they put Penny back, when Penny came back, because we will get to that, when Penny came back 2 seasons ago, I was ecstatic for Penny, because I had been telling people for years that Penny should come back because she was a robot and she was only cut in half, and robots can easily just get their legs repaired. Like 16 got his whole thing repaired when he was damaged in Dragon Ball Z. There's no issue with that. Penny's character completely was screwed up the moment she became the Maiden, because they had so many plot holes within their own canon and their own established story that was established before Penny became Maiden. Which is a huge problem. um, and again, spoilers, and also, because again, we're going to be getting into all these spoilers again about this episode. But I want to also thank, my mods that, delete comments when they detect spoilers for this season, because obviously we're only a week ahead, and, we got to block people, if we find this out, when, people are commenting on spoilers a week ahead, give everybody a chance to see this stuff ahead of time, so obviously we only see it as free members. So thanks to my mods that were up on deleting comments this season for the spoilers comments. We're gonna have to really try to crank on that, possibly for next season. But right now we're doing good with that. But anyways, so let's get into this. So sorry about that. So anyways, yeah, so basically Vine sacrificed himself, because Watt was remotely controlling the bomb, as we alluded to earlier. Now, they have the fights going on, you got everybody, everywhere, the remaining RWBY people that were still there that weren't in the mist, because my girl Yang in the last episode, as you see my review last week, my girl Yang got freaking put in the abyss like that, like, what the frig, my favorite character getting like that in RWBY, my favorite character in RWBY like that, getting like put in the abyss like that, that's some bullshit right there in itself, you know what I mean? But I'm still pissed off about that. I'm salty about that. Anyways, so we got them fighting. RWBY is fighting Neo. Cinder is fighting Penny and Weiss. And this is going through all the stuff. John's there. They're fighting. And then we get to the point where RWBY, not RWBY, I'm sorry, freaking Cinder, she's get the arm thing back or whatever. I guess it's got power now again. And she does some hits to Penny with her Grim arm, and that wounds Penny. That wounds Penny, the maiden, the Winter Maiden. Like, how? How does that wound Penny? How does that wound her? Like, it wasn't a stab, and even the sound effect for it, it felt like it was a stab. And it wasn't. It wasn't a stab at all. She just freaking just clobbed her with the freaking Grim arm, and that was it. But how does that mortally wound her? How does that mortally wound her? That makes no sense. Like they do a stab freaking sound effect, but she isn't even stabbed. She's just basically like got the Grim arm on her, and then John, John is basically, well, I also should mention before, I think this was before this, is that Neo knocked RWBY's weapon out. And eventually Neo goes to try and finish RWBY off, because she's like, I don't know why you're mad at me. And then basically they both like are on the ledge, and Cinder basically takes him out. both out, saying that, I'm pissed off at you because I hate you, and then I'm pissed off at you for basically taking the relic and shit, and so then she takes her out too. So yeah, Neo, you basically were bamboozled. I mean, to be fair though, Neo was kind of duped from the beginning, because when she tried to fight Cinder when she first came back, some odd seasons ago, right? When she first came back, what happened? What happened? She was going after her, and then she convinced her that RWBY was the enemy, when it was not. It was her, and yet she still went along with it, which just kind of dumb. But anyways, so Cinder mortally wounds Penny. And also, I should mention, while this is going on, Winter's fighting Ironwood, and there was, a fight between those two. And they do dialogue from the past. How, he'd done everything to sacrifice to, save everybody, and he wasn't, and Winter said, no, you're not. You put everyone in fear and in jeopardy. And, so they're fighting off, too. RWBY's in the portal, or is in the void. Blake, Blake tries to save RWBY for being in the void, and that ends up failing, so they end up all going in. So again, Penny's mortally wounded somehow. Makes no sense why she's mortally wounded from a goddamn grim arm. I mean, she could have damage from that, but not mortally wounded to the point where she's almost dead. That's just stupid. And then John tries to heal her, and then Penny is like, no. You should, you should just basically kill me so I can transfer the power to someone else. Penny, up to this point was fighting Cinder. She's like, you don't even know the meaning of friends. This is before she got wounded, of course, during the fight. And god damn it, she convinces her. John is convinced by Penny to do this, even though John doesn't want to do it. He does it, and I hated that. They didn't show it, but I still hated that, because the dude just killed his friend. I don't care that Penny freaking said, do it. That's stupid. That was so dumb. Like, no, John should have been like, no, I'm not gonna do that to you. We're gonna get here together. I don't know what the writers would think. Like, so Penny then basically decides that Winter is going to be the Winter Maiden, because she thinks about her before she dies. Okay, because that's the rule, is the last person you think of that's a woman or girl before you die gets the maiden powers, unless the last person you think is a man, then in which it goes to a random person, a random woman. So Penny thinks of Winter because, she originally said she was going to give it to RWBY a couple episodes ago, remember? But I guess she must have assumed that RWBY was dead from falling into the abyss by this point. So she decides to give it to Winter, because now Winter, I guess, is, Winter's on their side now, obviously. So she has no hesitation of not giving it to her. But by this point, Weiss was also there as well. Weiss, by this point in the episode, hadn't fallen into the abyss yet. Because she does eventually fall in the abyss, too. Spoiler. But, she could not have predicted that, though. So, I don't get what they were thinking here. So Penny is killed by John off screen, officially. And then there's this whole scene where Penny is like, I choose the power to go to you. And then she basically says, "I don't deserve it. You deserved it. I was just basically being programmed. Basically, kind of the opposite of the whole machine thing. I was just basically, ordered around by Ironwood. You deserve it more." And Penny says, "No, no, no, you deserve it. For everything done. It was a power that you should have had to begin with." So Winter gets the maiden powers. She activates the powers. She's like crying in tears, but she takes out Ironwood. And well, doesn't really take out Ironwood because Ironwood's still alive. But I mean, finishes off the fight. Cinder's all pissed off. Because she basically said you had the relic, but she's like, I want everything. So, like, she's got the relics. She wants to get the other powers, but she doesn't get it. Everyone's going through all these portals. Also, I should note that there was a plot hole, too. Well, there's plot holes in this whole episode, but there was a plot hole with Neo. Because Neo technically went through a portal when she was fighting RWBY, and she came back in. Like, and according to the rules, which they explained in the last episode, once you go through a portal when you're in the realm, you can't come back. Yet, Neo did that. So yeah, there was that as well. So basically, Winter fights off Cinder, and Cinder basically gets away, and then meanwhile we see Oscar, Nora, and Ren basically trying to fight off the Grimm in the sandstorm place that all the civilians are at. And Winter eventually goes through. Weiss goes into the abyss too, by the way, and Winter is not happy about that. She's crying, and then she attacks Cinder, and then Cinder eventually just leaves. And then John tries to follow Winter into the portal, but he doesn't get through, which to me was kind of dumb because Winter could have easily just picked him up and gone through the portal. I mean, she pretty much flied at that point with it, so why didn't she just do that with John? So John goes through the abyss, basically, and goes through the abyss, and Winter then basically taking out all the Grimm in the sandstorm area where everyone's at, and final moments is basically you see Ironwood knocked out, but then you see Salem and Cinder. Cinder basically talks about how she failed to get the power, but she, that RWBY is gone. And Ironwood tries to shoot him. It just doesn't work. And then basically the rest of Atlas is basically flushed down the toilet with water all over the city, flooding the kingdom basically. After the post-credit scenes, we see a weird island, and then we see RWBY's scythe on this beach of this island, basically, implying that Team RWBY is alive. Personally, I would have rather have actually seen RWBY knocked out at shore rather than seeing the scythe. But yeah, that was the ending to a very uneventful season finale. So I said that a couple of years ago that Winter should have been the maiden, which I still stand by my statement that Winter should have been the maiden, but not this way. This is not how I described it should have happened. Again, that's the end of the episode. But if the plan was for Winter to be the maiden, like she should have been from the beginning, all this dumb crap with Penny being the maiden should have never happened. And I think it was just a waste to bring Penny back just so she could die. Because that's literally what happened. She literally was brought back to be the maiden to die. Like, that was probably the fastest maiden person we've had in history of RWBY. Like, she was the maiden for, like, how long? Well, I mean, in RWBY days, though. Not, like, in our, like, real life timeline. I'm talking about, like, in their world. Like, how long was she at? Like, probably not even a year, right? As the Winter Maiden. So, a very, very uneventful tender as the Winter Maiden. They wrote themselves into a corner, and they literally made a really stupid way of making Winter the maiden. And I'm pissed because I like Penny, and like they killed off another good character in Penny. They ruined her in the last episode by, this whole she's not a robot anymore thing to try and justify why she had the maiden powers. And then next episode, oh yeah, she's just gonna die now. Yep. She's gonna die now so Winter can be the maiden. Y'all wanted Winter to be the maiden. So, hey. This is not how we wanted Winter to be the maiden. I had a better way of writing this. Well, I had my theory a couple of years ago. We did my theory a couple of years ago on how she could have been the maiden. And it was so much better than this one. It was so much better than this. This was just like, oh yeah. And it sucks because it's like, Penny is dead now. And now freaking everyone on Team RWBY is going to have to hear from John because John killed her. Because John killed her friend. Yeah, she said to, but like, are they going to really believe that? Like, come on now. Like, this is just... Oh, my God. Oh, man. I'm so disappointed in the season finale. Like, they just... It's like, yeah, Winter's the maiden, I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed because they ruined Penny, and they killed Penny, and I liked Penny. And I'm just kind of really upset about it now. All that, bring her back, which was great when they brought her back, just so she can be a maiden and die. All that, if she dies, I can't make another one because there's no more soul, in me to being able to make one because I spared her soul. All that, and she's dead now. Way to go, Rooster Teeth, on that. Way to go. Way to go to ruin a perfectly good character. And I'm really upset about it. Way to ruin a perfectly good character. You ruined a perfectly good character. And she was great when she came back. She was great when she came back, and then they made her the maiden. They did all this plot hole freaking stuff that made no sense, based off of the way that the maiden powers were established, and then they freaking just said, oh, frig it, we'll write ourselves into a corner with the relics, and, make her a human and then just kill her off next episode. Oh, yeah, this was brilliant, guys. This was just creative thinking completely. Not, by the way. Yeah. I'm upset about it. Like I said, you could have still had the same ending with Cinder and Salem standing tall and not have done this. And not have done this ending. Have Winter, get out of there to kind of help Weiss, but, have everyone all still survive and, have Penny still be the maid in the end that, helps everybody. They could have done all that, and they could have done all of that and still come with the conclusion of Cinder and Salem flooding the entire Atlas, kingdom, and giving them the relics. So, I don't exactly know where they are in the realm though. Like Team RWBY, Neo, and John are, because obviously the Scythe is far away from them. But they're all together, and obviously Neo was double crossed. So we'll see where that goes. Neo. And that's another thing, because I like Neo too, and they ruined Neo with this, because it's like, how could Neo not have saw this not coming? Cinder backstabs everybody at this point, and she should have known better to have known that, oh my god, this person, I just did all this, and, I'm just gonna pretend that, that everything's gonna be safe. And it wasn't. So, yeah, that's the RWBY review of the final episode of this season. Not very eventful. Very disappointing. Fight scenes were good. The animators did a good job with the fight scenes, I will say that. That was probably the one positive thing of this episode. But the whole structure and the writing of this episode and trying to make sense of everything just didn't make sense, guys, and it missed the mark, unfortunately. So that's about it. That's all I really have to talk about. Very disappointed at Penny. They did the final salutations. I'm not gonna hear that again. Supposedly she's always gonna be with well, technically every maiden is supposed to be with, whoever the current maiden is. But Penny was only the maiden for freaking less than a year. She was a maiden for less than a year. Jeez. What the frig? Well, Weiss is in her, early 20s? Well, because isn't there, a certain age for the maidens, too? On when you can get the powers? Winter's in her early 20s, so, I guess it still makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know what the cutoff is supposed to be for it, but, I don't think they established this certain age of when there's a cutoff on it, but I know it was supposed to be like that as well. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think about it. Did you like this stuff? Did you like the way they did this? I did not like the way they handled this at all. With Penny and Winter and all this other crap. Let me know what you guys think about this. I know this is probably going to be a decisive episode for a lot of people. So, and we're going to have a lot of opinions on this. So please keep it clean. But, yeah. That's my thoughts on it, guys. I call it like I see it. That's how you guys always know. I call it as I see it. I'm unbiased. I try to be as unbiased as possible when I do these reviews, and I call them like I see it. I'm gonna still continue watching it because I like the show. But I'm not gonna, not go away from stupid crap that comes up. So here that's what I got on this. Comment, rate, like this video, my reviews. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for all the latest contents, because that's how you can view my content. I do have a Discord link in the description as well for discussions and all that stuff. And that's about it. That's all I can really say about this episode, guys. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of it. Peace.